Hello, good evening, everybody. I hope those of you tuning in have already makan. I see that some people are already tuned in already. Thank you so much for joining me. So this is actually my first time officially hosting a live broadcast. So let us know if you're here, who you are. For the first timers, drop your comments in the comment box and I'll say hi. And for those of you regular supporters, regular viewers, let us know who you are as well too. And there we are. We have a few of the regulars here already. Hello, Chris, Japa Aboy. What's crackalacking, folks? How are you? And now we have Sui Lin. Now, some of you will be wondering, then where's Eric Lay? Just like Euros lah, football not performing lah, kena bench lah, substitute. Okay lah, no, joking. That one top cock already anyway. So, and we have more and more people. Ayoyo, ni hao. And we have Pauline. Hello. Thank you so much tuning in as well. Wen Jay, come here. And there the fleur kena bench one is already here already. Say hi, Liao. Happy abo. Happy bo. Flying solo lah. Like I said, no, the fleur we bench him lah, kena bench. No lah. It's just that tonight's episode holds a special meaning for me. Hence, the first time I'm hosting something live from my own profile instead of Eric's profile. So that's that. And before we move on any further, just to give everybody a quick introduction of what we are going to be talking about tonight. So it's about a giving heart. What gives? We have our special guest already behind the stage right now, standing by. So without further ado, we're just gonna kick in our intro. So be right back. Stay tuned. And welcome back. So revisiting the topic, a giving heart, what gives? Now, some of you may have known that I was very fortunate to be involved in a fundraiser in collaboration with Yayasan Health on World, when ball broadcasted live and all that. And that held a very special meaning to me, unintentional project actually that I was involved in. And I thought that, okay, that was something very meaningful. And here is someone who went further ahead than that. So I know him for a long time already. We are buddies and we used to be involved in sports, not exactly professionally, but almost there. And yeah, he did something quite special I didn't actually agree with. But without further ado, let me just bring him in and let's hear it from the man himself. So introducing you, this is XK. XK, thank you so much for joining us. So let's give a quick shout out to more and more viewers coming in as well too. Let me see, who is this? Oh,
Sure. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for checking in here.
This is Grace. Hi,
Hi,
Grace. I've never really seen you around before. Thank you so much. I believe this is your first time. And there is someone. XK, silakan je.
Yes.
Please work. Say hello.
Hi, Alia.
Yeah.
Hello.
So Dr. Alia is the one who was so graciously guiding these fleurs on how to go bald for a reason and all that. And it was indeed a special reason for me. So, yep. Now, not wanting to waste time, okay? Tell us who you are.
Before you go ahead, you know your hair now grow out already, right? My hair also very long because MCO cannot go haircut lah.
And then what?
Since Dr. Alia, should we do together?
Should we do? You want to go bald again? Oh my God, please don't. Alia, I will talk to you later, okay? After this broadcast ends, please disregard this now. Are you sure or not? See, this is the result. or MCO and all that, then you
Okay
can't but
lah.
shit.
Have to cut anyway, ma.
You running. You see,
Mm,
yeah, you say hi XK back to you. You wait lah, Faster. Tell who you
uh,
are. Siapa kau?
well, so everyone, hi, good evening. So, basically, I am Daniel's good friend, but brother from another mother. For the last 12 years, 13 years. So, day to day, I handle sales. I'm a business development manager in Tech Tree, and on my previously before I joined Tech Tree, I was actually running my little old entrepreneur business, a little renovation firm, like basically called Sales Space Works. And what we do is we try to do residential areas, residential projects, and also a bit of commercial projects. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it hits the renovation or the construction industry very badly, and I have to put it on hold for the time being. Um, Basically, during my free time, I cook, I read, I spend time with my kids, play a little bit of games. Used to spend more time with Daniel on the weekends, but these days the kids are all taking up the timeline. So that's who I am. Yeah.
Yeah. I written many times before that if time permits it as well, I would indulge in games, and this is one of the buntots lah I play with. Never written orders one. Ayo.
Hey,
And
you
yes,
take care of my buntut on ma.
and yeah, so we go way back to actually more than 12 years now. Yeah, and we knew each other through sports. Very fortunate, and that kind of shaped our friendship. We've been close since then. Got involved with each other's personal lives, weddings, and even some family events. You name it. So yeah, that's the long story short, lah. So Grace asked, "What?" Thank you for sharing. Okay. Then she also asks, what? Buntuts? Yes, you heard it
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah. We don't want to say as lah. It sounds like very, very, very salah. So buntut lor. But anyway, by the way, XK, do you actually know what does TKSS stands for?
If I have to take a guess, Tok Kok sing song lor, but I don't know how to sing lah, so don't get me sing lah.
I can for you. Wow. Okay. All right. We try to talk less. We sing a bit more, but hopefully the weather stays. All right. So anyway, yeah. So that's who XK is, and just to give a bit of introduction of how we started as well. And this was how XK looked like when he was still in paintball. And this photo was taken by a photographer, Desmond Fu, who was one of the photographers. In fact, he was the main media man for the event, and that's the stuff that he used to do. And if you could also recognize where yours truly is, yep, somewhere. And yours truly is also just right behind him, the one with the mask with the white lining. And yeah lah, that time single man, no girlfriend, no wife. Then too much time, too much energy. This is what single crazy flirts like us did lah. So, and yeah, we grew along the way, and that we picked up a lot of life's lessons through that the sport. We spent a lot of time and commitment. Now, without talking about us, let's talk about XK. We're going to start off kicking it off with the importance of giving. Now, let's not pretend that Malaysia
Yep.
is now in MCO 3.0 or whatever point zero you want to talk, you want to call it lah. But yes, it has been extended indefinitely. Times are really, really bad for a lot of people, and there are some of us, like you and me, XK, we are a little bit more fortunate than the others. All the more reason the importance of giving. So, dear audience, those of you tuning in, drop us your comments. What are your thoughts about this? And while we're waiting for your comments to come in, XK, why don't you give us your 2 cents about this?
The importance of giving, I think, with the, like I just mentioned today in my post, Bendera Putih, right? It's actually a wake up call for everyone to actually be part of this, to take care of each other, share love and care uh, to those a little bit more less fortunate. Um, so that hard times I think everyone here is experiencing a very very tough period of time. Even I myself, as I have my little business back then, as MCO 1 came in, it was really tough. MCO 2, I'm halfway there. MCO 3, as I say, it's not gonna work, But fortunate enough, like we managed to still get something done. Sustain a little bit. Still able
Mm.
to give out a little bit, take care of people around us. At
Mm.
least I don't have to sleep under a bridge, lah, so to speak.
Mm. So we have a
But I
roof
think,
over our heads and food whenever we
yeah,
want to go to the kitchen. Yeah.
yeah. But
You think?
giving is something that I think we should cultivate in our lives, lah.
Mm. Okay. Well, suppose that's among the lessons learned as well when we were still in school, Pendidikan Moral, for those of you who studied in Malaysia. And we give a pause. We have more and more viewers tuning in. Hey, Jacqueline, thank you for coming in. And we've got a first timer. This is one of our
Oh.
friends from our old days. He's also another shooter in the sports.
Yep. Hi,
Okay.
Gawe.
Come here. Good
Nice
evening.
having you here. Nice seeing you here.
You are makan already. So yeah, so going back to the importance of giving. So the thing is that besides just talking about giving, here's my thoughts about it. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about it, and we are on social media. LinkedIn is just one of them. I'll be very frank. There's a lot of people typing about it instead of just talking about it. All right. How will that actually make a difference? Talking about it. Besides creating awareness, what are your thoughts about it? So leave your comments to us as well. Talk to us. And while we're waiting for that, XK, give it a
Yep.
shot.
A lot of people typing about it. I mean, it's good and bad at the same time, I guess. The good part I would say is that at least it creates some awareness of how these people are suffering. At least more people aware. There's this phenomena where when there's a lot of people aware of something, the less help you get. Like when your car break down by the roadside, like you have thousands of cars passing by, but nobody stops by. But somehow rather, someone, just all you need is just one soul to actually stop by and help. Right?
Mm,
I agree. A lot of people say no action, talk only lah, nato lah. But
mm,
but we do have to give credit to some that actually, behind the scenes, maybe not so vocal or not so upfront. They do have support in certain ways, like whether it's giving to charity or sending food or just buying extra packet of rice and put it in the community bin. For in some of the shopping malls that you have in KL. So I think
mhm,
those are little acts. But like I say, it's you will see more people raise these issues on social media these days.
mm.
How many people actually take action to actually help? I'm not gonna go in there because that's gonna be an ugly place to debate, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we don't speak for everyone in their own situation and how they are at home. But
yeah.
what about you? What about you? What
So
do you
my
think?
thought is that yes, there's only so much that we can type about it. We can share links, URL, and then hyperlink to whatever that article or post is all about. And then we talk about it. Yeah, you're right. It creates awareness, and thanks to social media, the hashtag of Kita Jaga Kita or even the Bendera Putih movement was born. Especially the Bendera Putih, the white flag. Really is a touching thing. God knows who actually created it, but whoever that person is, God bless his soul or her soul. And of course, you've also seen in the papers that it's beginning to have attraction. The ball has begun rolling, and some people who are already reacting to it. Some recipients have received the goodies as well, and yeah. So suppose that's not just talking anymore, but walking the talk, And frankly, I also have to give a lot of credit to a lot of unknown heroes, so to speak. Now, there are some of our audience here tonight who have done their own little acts of kindness without actually publicizing it, and I personally know some of them without naming names, just to maintain their confidentiality. Now we have Grace checking in, who agrees with the comment. Truly generous despite all the MCO during these times. And yes, XK, you're right. It needs to be cultivated. The act of giving, the importance of it, not just talking about it, but practicing it is definitely not inbuilt. Yeah, I suppose so. Um, and she checks in further, following up. She would like to know, why, Daniel Go, were you against the idea of helping? Stay tuned for that question. And what made you change your mind? It's among the things that I'm going to be cover later tonight. But I promise you I'll be sharing that. And then Dr. Alia, she believes just us, Malaysians in general, are generous. Yes, you can talk about all the bad apples. It will never end. But generally speaking, I agree with her sentiment that people generally are good. There's always some level of kindness in them. The problem with a lot of us, me included, is that we are all bound by pride. Maybe macam, takut takut orang kutuk. Then people see you, or people see Aden, wow, got nice headset and mic and all that, can do broadcast. Cannot be Aden, got problem, right? I mean, just example lah. Yeah, so your reputation precedes your reality of what you actually need, and yeah lah, mau jaga air muka.
Like
What
I
do you
say,
think?
a lot of times asking for help is actually take a lot of courage to actually lower down yourself, be humble, and admit that you couldn't do certain things, or you're a failure, you feel in providing to your family. It takes a lot of courage, and especially for men, I noticed that sometimes it's very hard for them to actually say, I can't do this, I need help. Yeah. Right.
I will admit that I'm one of them. Actually, you know me already. So for those of you audience who have been following me as well, you would know by now that I'm the only child. So I can give all kinds of excuse lah. Only child syndrome, born to survive lah. But I agree with you. Pride plays a lot of role, and sometimes it's just that, no excuses. So guilty as charged. Oh, hey Raja, how are you? So SK, if you're wondering, there are some of them appearing as LinkedIn users because
Yes.
third-party privacy settings. So,
Understand.
hey, say hello. Say hello.
Hi Raja. Saw you last week with the other doctor, right?
She's one of our regular viewers as well. Hey, thank you so much, Raja. I hope you already makan already. I wonder if there's any other shows out there who ask the audience to kerja and say hello to the audience. All right, so we have covered the topic of the importance of giving, and we kind of just went into the talk versus the walk. So yeah, again, credits and a bit of applause to those of you who have been helping people in your own small ways. Any kind of help will always have a ripple effect. I said before, and I've said this to a few people previously, that we obviously cannot help the entire world. We're just regular people. We're not superheroes like what you see in the movies or the comics, but do what you can, and just that simple act may have a very, very profound impact. We will not be able to know the ripple effect it creates. It's unimaginable. Now, with that said, let's pause a little. It's just that thought in mind. Imagine everybody does that much or that little. What's the impact? Multiply. So that's the reason why I brought up this very controversial topic of the talk versus the walk, because we know there are a lot of talkers, but let's face it, credit's given to the walkers as well of what they preach. So squirrel jokes, Raja says, and Raja also checks in with a follow-up comment. One of the superpowers is also kindness. Yeah, doesn't take much to be kind, really. Even if you're not giving in any material form, just smiling, just angkat tangan, just wave to whoever, the mamak guy, the janitor, the security guard who opens the mall's door or the condo's door. I mean, how much does it take? It doesn't cost a single cent, for God's sake. So, having said
But
that,
Daniel, just want to ask, how do you
us.
find it? Now since everyone's locked at home, you don't like for you, you still got your live sessions to interact with people. Do you miss interacting with people in face to face?
Oh,
Like
what's
I'm
up?
worried of my kids. I'm worried of my kids because they don't get to interact with people of their same age. And I'm wondering if like how are they going to show kindness in future? How are they going to practice all this? Yeah, it makes me wonder sometimes.
Thought provoking. Now, it's
Mhm.
a modern day topic to be brainstorm. You ask me, I tell you up front, I have no idea. You know why? Because I've got a 2.5-year-old every single day without fail
TV,
asking
right?
me, can we go out? He
Oh,
loves
okay.
going out. He loves going out to the park. No, we have a private park because we live in a condo. It's closed.
Yep.
Just you could probably hear his voice echoing through the next room right now. So yeah, so there's this park for residents only, and unfortunately, it's closed as well due to the current MCO. So bupiano, right? We cannot go downstairs and have our walks. Prior to the full lockdown, I did took him down for a stroll, and he would interact with other residents, say hi in his own little way. Adults, kids, even get to play with some dogs, some small puppies and all that. And now that I have to tell him every single day, no, but explain why they cannot go now. I share your sentiment, XK. I do.
Yep.
But having said that, there are also times where he watches TV, YouTube, cartoons, right? There are still some form of lessons to be picked up there for them. I just say that is because there are some of the things my wife and I didn't teach him, but he seems to pick up from the cartoons. So, like,
Yep.
although
Mine
having
start
said
complaining today. Mine start
Hmm?
complaining today. Yeah.
Yours started complaining today. Okay.
Yeah. She was
That's
she was
great.
talking to Google Assistant, searching for
Well,
certain cartoon shows, and it shows her all the old episodes that she's watched. So she
so
complained that Google Assistant is not showing me the new episodes.
hey, remind me again, how old is your kid?
5-year-old. She's turning 5 in October. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. But yeah, I miss face-to-face interaction. I really miss just going out to the mama, or even hanging out with people. The last time I actually met some people, coincidentally, two connections within my LinkedIn circle as well. We became friends in real life. Edward and Zaid. Yeah, we makan roti canai and yeah, just borak-borak lah. And we have more and
Yep.
more
People
questions
coming in.
coming in. Yeah. Now say hi for those of you who just joined so that we know who you are. And hello,
Nikki.
hello. Hi,
Hi,
Irshad.
Fred.
Yeah. Nikki, hey brother, thank you for tuning in. And he follows up with
Hi, bro.
this one. So Nikki used to be in paintball as well too, by the way.
Yep.
And we're in rival teams. We shot each other lah, basically. He remembers XK. Why? Because he shot you.
Yes.
Anyway, his random act of kindness was sending him home before he had a driver's license when he was a young pinball player. Not like he's very
Yep.
old. He is old, okay? Don't be so kind. All right?
Hey, at least you look younger here, man.
Yeah, buntut are you. And hey, Cynthia, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Cynthia.
And yeah, no social skills nowadays. That's among the concerns for young parents, or even generally with the lockdown, not able to go out as well. And saying hi, Taiko, kamsia, kamsia. Thank you for joining
Hi.
us as well. Who else? Hey, Tyler, brother.
Hi,
Thank you
Tyler.
for coming in and
Thanks for
joining
coming
us,
in.
and Michelle as
Hi,
well.
Michelle.
Okay, we are gonna go back to a comment that I saw, but I did not click. This is from Grace. Is there a difference between kindness and generosity? Ooh la la. XK, Tim Young. How?
I think there's more similarity than difference. But generosity, when you have extra surplus, like a lot more, and you're able to provide more, then I think that's going towards generosity. But I think basically you still need to have kindness before you can be generous as well. So not sure if it's the right answer for you, but to me that's how I think.
Fair enough. Short and sweet, I guess. My take is grace. Well, maybe it goes hand in hand. I'm not even sure whether or not is there a difference, or if there is, surely the lines seems to be blurred. At least this is just my personal opinion. I may not be right, so correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, lor. No, how do you even differentiate that? I mean, if you're kind, yeah, you're potentially giving in any form that you can. It may not have to be materialistically, but in kind, it could be just a helping hand, like I said earlier, just your facial expression, your greeting, your waving to the person, making him feel as part of the community. I'm not condemning the residents of this condo or any other condos for that matter. It's just unfortunate that I see the security guards at my condo. Not many people talk to them. Not many people talk to them. My kid at 2.5 years old could barely speak a word of English, still baby talking. And when he used to go and walk at the park, he would say hi to everybody. It actually makes me proud and worried at the same time, because this fella is like, this 2.5-year-old seems to be too trusting, but it's a sweet gesture of him.
Yep.
And that's something my wife and I did not teach him.
Mhm.
Coming from a 2.5-year-old, think about that. I hope that answered your question, Grace, with the a thought to ponder. And Jessica, hello.
Hi Jessica, thanks for
Hello.
tuning in.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Alia, hey, Alia drops in quite a meaningful one. It says the two of us doing this talk to remind everyone to help where and when we can is the walk in addition to the talk. Now, this is referencing to the previous subtopic of the talk versus the walk. Deep. Yeah, lah. So, oh, and Cynthia as well. Yes, touch, smell, and hearing skills are not put to the test. This is referencing to what XK brought up about, we are all confined
Social
to our
skills.
homes,
Yeah.
social skills. I have to admit that there is a bit of a challenge in that. There's only so much we can do. But yeah, that's that. Hello.
Hi Kaho.
I don't know who you are, but thank you so
Thanks for
much for
joining in.
joining.
Yeah.
You say hi to XK, then me, leh. It's sad, say hi to me. All right, now we are reaching to the halftime of the show already. So I'm just gonna play a quick commercial. Don't go away. All right, it's real quick. And XK, you want to go to toilet break? Please come back and wash your hands. So
Sure.
stay tuned. Be right back.
Yeah. Sanitize also.
And welcome back. Yeah. Nothing too hard. Okay, nice to meet you virtually. I'll be connecting with you after. So no hard feelings. Aduh, Grace also say kantoy. Okay lah. Friend lah, friend.
Yeah.
All right.
Kaho is an ex-colleague, by the way.
Oh, no wonder.
Yep.
No wonder so 感情 lah.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Now, next one. Now we talk about giving, right?
Mhm.
And earlier, Grace was asking the question, the difference between kindness and generosity. So how? No money can give. What are your thoughts, dear audience? So those of you tuning in, drop in your thoughts about this. No money, then how? Can give or not? Let us hear your thoughts. And while we wait for your comments to come in, hello, SK.
Yep.
Team.
So no money can give or not. I think this is also what get us into this talk in the first place, right? Yeah. So in all essence, I think no money can give lah, but see how you give loan, not necessarily how do I call it, materialistic stuff lah. Giving services, it's free for some. Like I like how someone mentioned today that you were giving mentorship and you don't charge money, so free ma, no money, right? Also can give. For myself, I think giving for me is something that stem off from the upbringing that I had from both my parents, where we tend to take care of people around us. We try our best to think the good things, the good side of people, and try to help each other whenever possible. Money or not necessarily every time has to be monetary support lah. If we can help in terms of giving food, in terms of buying someone, because I know sometimes people say you give money and then you don't know what they spend the money on, whether it's on cigarettes or on drugs or whatever vices. But so if that case, then don't give money lah. Give food, give things that they need, provisions. Then you help them better in that sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I agree. I gave my hair. I didn't pay anything for it. Instead, people paid to support the cause for me to lose my hair. And with God's grace, and thanks to a lot of contributors, monetarily or in kind, to spread awareness of the fundraiser, we raised
Yep.
6750 ringgit, 6.7K. So money is with the Yayasan Health and Wealth, YHOW for short, and they're doing good things with it. Specifically for mental health issues, especially for the youth of the B40 household. So that was what I did. And whether I actually did that intentionally, I tell you first, the answer is no. It was an unintentional idea that came up. And then thanks to Dr. Alia, who came in and guided us along the way. Now, coming back to your question, to address it realistically, no money can give. Time, as what Muihan just commented.
I think a lot of people commented time, right?
Yep. Time. Time law. No money can give face, ma. Actually, not wrong, yeah.
True.
Not wrong there. And then sometimes Muihan also say gives a shoulder to cry on. Hey, that's not wrong, Sometimes people just need a hearing ear, which then
True.
go to the shoulder. You never know. And Chris checks A. Actually, I said, are you the first commenter? Uncle. Anyway, I thought I never addressed greet Chris yet. And Chris says, give support, advice, and assistance. Yep. Tyler concurs. Time as well. And skill. Yes, skill. We're going to talk about skill very, very soon, And Chris even continues with giving face masks, hand sanitizers, which is so important. Cynthia concurs. Time. Michelle, definitely possible, agreeable, time, attention, help, care. It doesn't have to be monetary or even material.
Yep.
Well said. Brother Gabriel, how are you? It's been a while. Thank you for joining in. And he says, on the contrary, money is easy to give, especially so for those who have disposable income. What is worth respect is dedicating time and getting our hands dirty to help anyone, starting from our very own parents, who many fail to do now, right? In our own family. Ooh, pedas. Oh,
pain.
Walau. Ini Eric apa ni? Because Batman has money. I'm not Batman. God bless. Hello from Nelly. Hello back to Nelly as well. Thank you so much for joining us through Jessica's profile. Hey, tune in lah. You do not have a LinkedIn profile. I forgot. Please sign up for a LinkedIn account. Dr. Alia concurs and echoes during this time. Many needs our ears.
Yes, yeah.
So there we go.
I think 2 days ago we talked about suicidal statistics went up, right?
Oh my goodness! I don't even know how to. Yeah, I cannot brain that, and unfortunately, that's what's happening, and that's also part of the reason why we are talking about it tonight. The importance of giving. Now, coming back to it, XK, you had some form of experience. Now, I'm going to be very straight. So for those of you who didn't know, and thank you for tuning in. The reason why I asked XK to join me tonight is something he did many months ago. So he had his own struggles. He, as you mentioned, he was a business owner that unfortunately did not have enough time to flourish, no thanks to the pandemic. And yet he got to know the plight of another family, totally not related. At that time, there wasn't any movement going about like Bendera Putih and all that yet, and yet he saw the invisible flag raised. Why don't you talk to us about it, XK? But before that, okay, okay, you tell in your own words, XK, and then I'm gonna play a little clip just to give a bit of flavor.
Sure, sure. So I think it's about March where I think with March I actually come across a family. I was asked by a friend to actually like help them to fix their leaking roof, right? So thinking that it's a leaking roof, so I send a contractor over and have a look. But my contractor tell me, XK, you have to come and have a look lah, because it's not just a roof. So I thought, how big can this project be, right? So it's just a roof leak, fixing roof, right? So when I
Mm,
went there, it was really an eye opener to actually. It's actually my first time seeing someone living in such condition where I could say 80% of the house is crumbling, uh,
mm,
or about to crumble.
mm,
There are very interesting things used to support the structure of the house, and I I talked to myself. I said, could I actually help this family? How can I help this family? Because uh, I myself, as a business, is struggling. We're making ends meet very tightly, and when we look at my industry, similar industry, people within the industry, it was very difficult as well because everyone is struggling at the same time. So how can we make this happen if we were to help these people? Um, so quickly, actually, inform a group. We had a professional group of renovations designers, interior designers, wetworks people, electricians, plumbers in a WeChat group. So I give a shout out. I say, look, I've have this issue. I've saw this family in dire needs of help, and can we ensemble a team? And let's go in and see what we can contribute. How can we collaborate
mm,
and to help them to rebuild their house, right?
mm,
So what really inspired me to help them is actually there's this family is actually made of two old folks. They're about their late 50s, early 60s, and they had a 12-year-old, very
mm,
bright 12-year-old, used UPSR. I think he got 7 A's. So my take was, um, I'm doing this for the kid because having young children myself, I think he needs a more conducive environment to actually continue his studies, right? And
mm,
I want to do my best to be able to help him to achieve that, right?
mm.
Yeah,
Now, without spilling too much, let us give you a taste of what XK saw during his recce trip of the house. This video was put together by a content creator himself. He's got his own channel on YouTube.
YouTube.
Viewer discretion advised because although there's no violence or anything gory, it does leave quite an impact. So here goes.
So the whole story started when a friend of mine, Lanson, he was trying to give away his old refrigerator. So as they reached here, he saw the condition of the house. He go in and have a look. He was surprised of how dire the condition is with all the leakages around.
And there you have it. So it ended with coming soon. Could you tell us more a bit about that, XK? Why coming soon?
Well, we're actually at the tail end of the project. Upon completion, most of the structures are already up. The walls are up. The four walls are up. We're just left with some finishing touches, more on like tiling and a bit of paint job to do. So, and a little bit of connecting the main electricity from TNB over to move the meter and everything. Unfortunately, MCO strikes again before we can, finish. We just need probably a week or two just to finish off and hand over to the family. Unfortunately, they've stayed in a hostel for the last 2 months. Yeah, they're coming to 3 months now because of the pandemic. So we hope that we could actually hand over as soon as we can. Yeah.
All right.
So that's why there's a coming soon there.
Okay, great. Now I'm going to flash a few photos again, thanks to contributions from the team that was involved with this little project. And this little piece was also covered by the New Straits Times, and that's the 12-year-old boy that XK was talking about. So XK, I'm going to cycle through. Could you just give us a rundown of what we're looking at?
Yep. So you'll see a bit of media coverage in this throughout this sharing because I actually engaged some of this media to get a bit of people know more about them. So as you can see, this is actually in Ampang, one of the kampong barus in Ampang. So 3,000 over square feet of floor space. House looks okay outside, but as you go in, that's where you see the roof all coming. The whole house is infested by termites. When we bring it down, the amount of termites we found is just staggering. Right, this house can come down at any time, and we're not joking about that. And it was also rainy season back then, so like almost every day it was pouring, and we were quite worried actually that we couldn't get in action fast enough to actually help them. But unfortunately, building a house is not just like today we talk about building a house, tomorrow we go and build, right? So a lot of planning has to come into place, and also fundraisers. As you know, we fundraise a little bit, and we get a lot of sponsorship, a lot of help from contributions from material sponsors like roof sponsors, thelorry.com. I reach out to thelorry.com and they help out with the moving. There is, I think, Joey's mattresses come in and sponsor the mattress, and we have people from Spazio Art and a few more design firms actually come in to help with project management, to help with manpower. Uh, and this project actually turned out pretty well because in the end of the day, we're also helping people within the industry that's struggling to pay salaries to their workers as well because there's no project going on. So with the fundraiser, we take the money to pay the workers' fees so that they can afford to pay their rents and to go on with their daily life. So we don't make profit out of this project.
Right. The power of teamwork and collaboration speaks volumes of what you just mentioned moments ago. So before we dive into this topic here, if you could also continue by describing what we're looking at, and you mentioned there are some things that was used to hold up some parts of the house. Is that what I'm looking at? That's one of those, the ladder.
Yes, you're actually looking at I think the strongest structural support in the house, which is a ladder. So the uncle used to be a carpenter, and he happens to have this step ladder that was 13 feet high, supporting a beam that supports the roof that's about to crumble down. So this is his little workshop back then. Because he has been suffering for the last 5 years, he has sell off most of his tools. The workshop is also crumbling, roof leaking everywhere. So the problem with termites is as they eats away your wood, it crumbles, and then with rain, it rots even faster, and everything just come down. This is one of the back rooms. The roof has already collapsed. The walls are actually caving in as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So run us through a little bit. You mentioned fundraiser. So how much was it raised? How much was raised? And
So we run a fundraiser for I think about, if I remember correctly, about 3 weeks. We managed to raise a good sum of 65,000.
wait. 3 weeks, 65,000.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're putting me to shame. I raised 6,750 in 1 month. Oh my god. Okay, Alia, you may want to work with this guy. Okay, so 3 weeks. How much? 65,000.
65,000. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So with promises from some government officers that funds will come in from the government side for another that's where the talk walk lah coming in lah. But the 65,000 is sufficient for now because, like I said, we have a lot of material sponsors like bricks are being sponsored, roofs are being sponsored, electrical works are being sponsored. So we're lucky in that sense lah.
So when you say sponsored, I'm hearing a lot of sponsors coming in. So are they sponsoring free, or you're engaging their services paid using the funds raised at cost, or what?
So when I mention sponsor is technically free. Like, I mean, the bosses, the business owners, they say, take it, use it. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. So they want to be part of this. Actually, a lot of people wanted to be part of this. In fact, I know some of the design firms has been helping out with projects like that. Just that, like you said, they are not publicized, so they do it
Mm.
as they are part of their CSR. Just do it as they come across projects like that. Interestingly, TNB actually had a CSR program as such as well. They kept it as about 50,000 to help people to rebuild houses. Yeah, but comes
Okay.
with certain requirements lah.
Understand certain
Yeah,
criteria that they need to meet.
criteria.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. And I mean, wow. So really speaks volumes and explains the power of teamwork and collaboration. And yeah, it's definitely not a one-man show. And
No.
I think the trailer, the video we saw, there's some of you who was squatting down and just
Yep.
looking at something, some plannings,
Drawings.
and
Yeah.
drawings. So now that we know that it's in the finishing touches, I'm guessing what I have right now may not be so updated anymore. So what is this? Tell the audience if you could enlighten a bit.
So this is
Back-
the facade of the house that was what's left of the old building. We have cleared out the back portion, about 3,000 square feet. The whole land is about 3,900 square feet, quite a big piece of land, long, rectangular. So why is it being left there? Because we need the shelter for, this is probably the best part, the roof that's still structurally strong and sound. So we need some shelter to keep some of the materials, from rain. So as you can see, we have tore down the whole old building, so that we have shrunken the size of the house, because we also have thoughts in it that we don't have to rebuild the exact same size of houses, because why, there's only the two auntie and uncles and also the 12-year-old son. They just need a small, good enough space for them to function as a family, right? 3,000 square feet may become a burden for them to actually take care, and it will also cost a lot more for us to rebuild. Yeah, so we shrink it down to about 900 square feet for now. Yeah.
Okay.
And as you can see, the roof structure is all in pretty thick metal struts, and the roof is all in metal deck.
And
Yep.
that's the structure we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay, that's basically a huge improvement.
Huge
a
upgrade. Yes.
far
Yes.
cry from what we saw earlier. So, all right. And you mentioned 2 more weeks, give or take.
Yes. We should complete it in 2 weeks.
And I will imagine when you say that, that means the progress, it would have looked way more completed than what we've just seen moments earlier.
Yes. I think what I do is I don't have a very nice picture of how it looks now, because I think that was from mid-May, where the walls are still ongoing coming up, right? So by end of May, actually the walls have all came up already. Yeah.
Yep. All right. We're going to go back to the audience. So what do you guys think? Ladies and gentlemen, drop in your comments. And I think that's a very nice touch. It's coming to fruition that obviously is making a huge impact to this family of 3. And yeah, and Grace is asking to back up the whole house. Well, the whole house, the whole plot. Tarik, turun, runtuhkan. And then
initially I think we plan to save some part of the house, but yeah, doesn't make sense. Yeah.
As you mentioned, if you're telling us that the structure it has been infested with termites, and it's just a matter of time, it's just going to go. And I hear the message of a safety hazard. If you didn't intervene, or if you and your team didn't intervene, then anything can happen, man. Rumah runtuh was like. Yep. And I saw that uncle. Yeah, and the uncle, I noticed he was carrying a walking stick. That's just mobility
Yes.
challenges.
Yep.
Hmm.
I think he suffered from a stroke. So about 5 years ago. So
Right.
he hasn't been able to fix the house because he used to fix the house himself.
Oh, I see. Yeah, as you mentioned, yeah, he was a carpenter, as you mentioned.
Carpenter, yeah.
Shop. Now, let's turn things the other way around. It was a bit of a heavy topic there. So let's turn it and go upwards from here. We've been talking about giving. What about taking? Could you tell us a bit more? What are your thoughts about the joys of giving? What's the takeaways? Those of you tuning in, let us know what are your thoughts. Is there something that we can take, or is just give, 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 give?
I think both are quite equally important, right? There's no extreme ends of give only. Don't. I mean, you can be just give only, or you can be just take only lah. But in the end of the day, is how people's gonna perceive you as just take only, or just you know, just being as used as a doormat, or just keep on giving, giving, giving all the time, right? So joy of giving to me is to be able to change someone's life, make a difference, touch people. I think that's very good. Not that kind of touch, Daniel. But right. But yeah, I think it's a value that I want to impart to my kids as well at the same time, teaching them to share, teaching them to give, to be a better person, help out everyone else if they can, and at the
Mm,
same time also learn how to receive help as well. I think that's a value that needs to be cultivated more as well amongst everyone. A
mm,
lot of times we are very proud of what we can achieve, but we also forget that we are also just human, and we have weaknesses, that accepting help is not something that's shameful, right? What
mm.
about you?
I believe the joys of giving in receiving the satisfaction as well as the pride, the silent pride that's in me to knowing that I've done something that impacts a family or the recipient in that case. So and it's not just that. Okay, I'm not going to give a textbook answer about it, but say it's for my kid. I'm a dad right now, and I truly believe that action speaks louder than words. There's only so much we can talk about, and if I'm gonna be talking, then I'm gonna fall. You choose lah, the talk versus the walk. Which one do you think I would have fallen into? Right? There's got to be a fair balance in that. And here's where I'm going to address the question Grace posed to me earlier. No, Grace, that wasn't what changed my mind. What changed my mind was that, well, let me give you a bit of a context. I didn't agree what
Yep.
XK was doing, right?
Yep.
XK called me. I actually had quite a heated, I won't say argument lah, but hairy enough, berbulu, cukup berbulu lah, to put it bluntly. And the reason why is because, as he has mentioned, he was struggling in his business. And I'm a family man. He's a family man. I was reminding him that, hey, you know what? You've got a family to look after. I know you've got a heart of gold, but priorities, man. No one's gonna check your six if you've fallen short. What happens? You've got two
Daniel,
young kids. Hala, you are. Then at the end of the day, I left it as that because he has already gotten himself into it. And I thought, okay, I respect it. Maybe there's something that he saw that I didn't see coming. And then, coincidentally, I was also involved with going bald for a cause, as I mentioned earlier. Now, I've just posted a link of my contribution and a short post that was posted by the Yayasan Health on the World on why I was involved in that fundraiser. And what XK did reminded me of what my late father did when he was still around. Very similar. 1997, 1998, Asian financial crisis. Dad lost his business as well, and yet struggling, no job, and yet he was helping an elderly, childless couple financially. I found out about it many years later, and I asked him why. You can read more about it at the link I've just posted in the comments. So I hope that answers your question, Grace. And Alia says, thank you. Kamsia.
comes here.
Michelle says, thank you as well. Your action in kickstarting this has brought a huge change to the lives of the family. Could not be done without the kind Malaysians chipping in ways that they can. I agree.
I agree. Thanks,
Kalimani,
Michelle.
Kinkis, inspiring, noble intention, kudos, yada, yada, yada. All right, XK. This is the time that you're going to
Yep.
soak up all the, you kembang ni kan?
Yes, yes, yes. Gain 5 kilos, gain 5 kilos.
Apa ni? What? Cucuk. Great. What is this, man? Yeah lah. In a way, I was cucuking him also lah that time. But
Yep.
in hindsight, I'm proud of him, which I'll talk a little bit more. And Michelle says that she concurs and we need to learn how to accept help because we are in need. This shouts what
Yes.
the Bendera Putih is all about. As I mentioned earlier in the show as well, a lot of us find it hard to ask for help. And I have to admit, I'm one of them as well too. I think a lot of us can resonate because of air muka, pride, and how people will look at us, and perception and stuff like that. Then kena kutuk-kutuk, So I hope this little example of XK's action speaks a bit to give light about that. XK question by Cynthia for you. How would you help a person who's going to lose their home to a bank?
Can we get a banker to look at this?
I was thinking this. There any bankers out there, you're tuning in for this broadcast? Could you help us out? But in all seriousness, Cynthia, I have got no fast answer to that. Really, I've got no fast answer.
Yeah. I think, Daniel, at some point, this is a question for both of us as well, right?
I can't answer this, and this is one of the things that I admit that a lot of us are not in a position to help. I mean, let's be frank, man. Even if you're rich enough to constantly give money continuously, what gives? Yep. What's the end goal? We can't just be doing that and then create a potential ripple effect of negative influence. So I'm not saying that it's bad, but there's always pros and cons. So that's as much as I can address this question, though.
I think a better way to help would be speak to a financial planner, ask some financial planner friends who can actually give some advices. I think they would be able to help better.
I hope so too, because banks are banks. They're also a business institution. They're not a charity. And I have personally had my adventurous time at the banks. Not that I needed money or what, but when I don't even need money, I had a very fun time already. What more when someone needs it? So anyway, let's leave that as that. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one very blunt question.
Sure.
And audience, you could resonate with me as well. Are you a hero, XK?
No lah, I won't consider myself a hero lah. Okay. Used to be a hero in the paintball field.
Oh,
Mati kena kicap, bro. Mati kena kicap.
We have former competitors in watching this broadcast.
Yes.
Don't let them go.
That's why I say, be hero, lepas tu mati kena kicap.
Okay, but in all seriousness, can we be a hero, or do we even recognize ourselves as heroes?
I think one doesn't need to be recognized as a hero, having the title of a hero just to do good. I think part of being human is also, helping each other. And that's good enough. Everyone can be a hero in their own ways. You can be a hero to your kids in ways that you never thought that you would be a hero, like just a simple thing of buying the kids toys, and you're the hero. My father was my hero because of how he can build Legos for me back then when I was young, and that was like the greatest feeling I have, or closest I have towards who is a hero to me. Yeah.
My answer is yes, we can be a hero. I say that with conviction. But we do not have to be recognized as heroes. We don't have to wear capes publicized that we are Superman. I don't want to wear my underwear outside.
or
But
on the head.
or we definitely can. All right, and there are a lot of unknown heroes out there, as I mentioned. A
Unsung
lot of
heroes.
things are unpublicized. No need to go and type and post about it on social medias or whatnot. There's a
Yep.
lot. That's really really a lot, right? And it's just how the world works. When bad things happen, it seems to have more sensationalized coverage about it rather than those that is more deserving, that gives a positive impact. Tyler, he checks in, saluting you for what you've done. No small deed, which I agree, Tyler.
Thanks,
And
Tyler.
you being humble. Humble lah, because I know you for so many years. Okay, like give you chance, I give you chance lah. Eric also say humble. Okay to be hero, yeah. I perasan like that.
Thanks.
There, one of our former shooters in that bunker, the hero someone die you. And Kalimani also concurs XK is a hero. Okay lah, hero. I give.
Yeah, hero. Tomorrow go print t-shirt.
Well, that's pretty much all the time we have. We are going to be exceeding a little bit here. So for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for joining us and experiencing a glimpse of what XK went through. And yet he decided to answer his calling to act. Rather than just talking, he walked. And I would admit that I am corrected with my doubt, despite being worried for him genuinely, but he has proved a lot of naysayers wrong, me included. And for those of you who would like to know more about XK, connect with him. And any last words before we close the show, XK?
Then if I can add on, I think a little bit of publicity is fine, depending on where the direction is. I mean, if you're publicizing a good deed for the sake of, like you say, puffing up yourself, then I think that's the wrong idea of publicizing it. But to raise awareness from publicity, I think that's a good angle to work on when it comes to charity projects. Take the project that I was handling back then. I wanted media to take some coverage so that it's easier for me to get sponsors to come in, to get resonance. The fundraisers in 3 weeks can be done in so quickly, as it's also part of the work of the media's covering it, and we have a lot of things to support, so it looks genuine. It's easier for people to understand the situation. So with that, I think, that's all I want to talk about. Yeah.
All right. You heard it straight from the man. And then we've got this guy. He just commented so late. Learning to take a compliment is a good start. Learning how to be a taker.
Sure, John.
Okay, so with that said, thank you so much again for joining us tonight, listening to what these two flirts has got to berbuntot about. And don't forget to connect with XK. And if you have any more questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment box even after this broadcast ends. Tag XK, spam him, let him work. But kasih dia kerja. I'll definitely be engaging and checking out your comments as well. So see you next Monday for the next TKSS session, and thank you for joining me tonight with your story, XK. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah. So
thanks everyone for tuning in.
Oh yeah. Stay safe. SOPs. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Don't want
Wash
to
your hands, sanitize.
Have to. Yeah. Anyway, don't want to be a broken record. Bye.
Bye.